Thanks for joining me. Today is our rural healthcare webinar, the sprint to the end of the year. This is a busy time of the year for the marketing department. Let's jump into November and see what kinds of things we might be able to do for November. So remember, marketing is the sum total of all impressions, and so everything that we do, we want to make sure that we're leaving that good, solid impression. Let's go back to that Senior Citizen Center for just a moment, and I invite you to go to your Senior Citizen Center on a regular basis. But to pull all of this together, it's going out into the community, it's taking the banner with you, it's having a nice brochure, it's having a business card that people can follow up and call and put in their purse. It's, if you're doing a blood pressure clinic, it's having a card where you can write down the blood pressure numbers on the back of the card. It's got your phone number on the other side and your brand, your logo. If you're inviting them or talking about a wellness exam and the importance of the wellness exam, it's following up with the appointment. When they walk into the facility, it's clean, it's well kept. They are welcome to the facility. Your clinic, so all of these pieces coming together where people are experiencing what that brand, what your company, what your logo, your hospital is about, bringing them and tying them all together, all the way to the customer service aspect of it. So just remember that marketing is the sum total of all impressions, and we want to leave those great impressions. So we talked a little bit about public relations. So let's kind of look at that. Again, there's a bunch of press releases already set up for the clients of SRJEasyHealthcare.com. Just go in there, and you've got a variety of choices there coming up for the month of November. So find the ones that are relevant to you, and use those. There's enough to cover you in most cases for the whole month, if not all 4 weeks. Certainly 3 weeks are there each and every month. And it's the idea of creating a free coverage. And remember, it's pretty valuable, 3 to 5 times more valuable than the ad that you place. That doesn't mean that you can not run the newspaper ad. In fact, you need to. One is to inform, and the other is to sell, basically. The press release is designed to inform people about your technicians, your equipment, your providers, the importance of the annual screening, that sort of thing. The advertisement is a call to action. It's call today to schedule. You don't say things like that, all the time in a press release. But so the press release is designed to educate on the importance. The ad is to make the sale. It's probably kind of weird for some of you to hear me talk about selling healthcare, isn't it? So, but I think it's an important component that we need to do a little bit more of. So let's talk about events for a moment. That's an important part of a marketing program. And let's start with the internal ones, because a happy employee makes for great customer service as well. And they're also customers of the hospital and the clinic. So just kind of do the math here for a second. If you've got 100 team members, let's just say they've got 3 people in their family unit. So you're now talking to 300 people, and let's just say they each have 5 friends. So now you've got 1,500. So immediately, just by talking to 100 team members, keeping them informed, keeping them happy, helping them to understand the importance of local health care, doing all of those things, suddenly you're having an influence on 1,500 or more members of your community. That's a big impact in many communities to have that many points of touch, if you will. So let's keep them happy. Let's do some nice things for our team, potlucks for the staff, and door decorating contests. I was in a hospital this last week, a couple weeks ago, I guess, and they had a door decorating contest. I didn't know people were still doing that. I'm glad that they were. I want to encourage everyone to do it. Lots of fun, lots of great decorations. This was a Halloween theme, and it was just great. And the staff really took advantage of it, and they had some amazing decorations, lots and lots of fun. So find ways that you can do that kind of stuff. Maybe it's a banana split party during the summertime, but let's look for those kinds of things. And then focusing internally, but moving it to an external interaction. For instance, Thanksgiving baskets. Lots of places of worship will do Thanksgiving baskets. Why can't we do that sort of thing, right? So where you gather the turkey and the dressing and potatoes and all that kind of stuff, you put them in a big basket, and by coordinating with some of the other entities in town, you get those distributed to the people that need them most. You could also internally or invite the public to bring canned goods to support the food bank during the holiday season. That can be done during Thanksgiving. It could be done at another time of the year when things are running low. But you create it in such a way that it becomes an annual event. Maybe you start internally this year. Be easy to put that together, and you start collecting canned foods now, and next year you open it up to the public as well. Looking ahead a little bit, because that's what we have to do on the marketing desk, into December, photos with Santa. What a really fun thing to do, and everyone, internally and externally, is going to enjoy something like this. But we got to get a Santa schedule, we got to get the room scheduled, and so we need to be thinking about that now and promoting it as well. So find a place in your hospital where you can set up, and you can host cookies and milk, and maybe some game activities for the kids, that sort of thing. And they come in, they sit on Santa's lap. You figure out what's best for your community and how to make that work. You email them immediately their photo, or you text it to them. Whatever is working with your system. But it's a great way, and think of the PR value here. My gosh, you have the opportunity to advertise it in advance. You can write a press release on it. You can post it on Facebook. During the event, you can be posting on Facebook. You can invite the photographer in to take photographs, and now you've got a follow-up story. So going into the event, during the event, after the event, you've got all this publicity going on with your hospital logo, right there with it. So that's great. The lunch, why not buy lunch at the Senior Citizen Center? Maybe buy lunch every month or every week even, sponsored by, and then make sure that you've got the collateral material and the signage and things like that. So, and I say that kind of seriously. I mean, let's just say that lunch is $3, and there's 30 people maybe that show up for lunch. So that's pretty good. That's a direct touch to your most important group of individuals, and not only are they potential customers, we wish them wellness as long as they can, but chances are at some particular point they might have to be in for a visit to your practitioners or to your hospital. But there are also people that are involved in the Senior Citizens, are involved individuals, and so they're influencers as well in the community. So a great thing to do. Go out and buy them lunch, either during the holidays or once every once in a while, or whatever is best for you. Another thing that we can do is to adopt a family or several families and buy Christmas for them. So hook up with one of the organizations in town, that churches or other groups that are doing this sort of thing, and you and your staff sign up to adopt a family or two or three or however many you can, and you actually go out and buy. I'm sure you all have done this sort of thing. But you buy them. You're given a card. You know what size that they are, and boy or girl, and size of shoes and size of pants, and you just adopt the family, and you buy their Christmas for them. Another good one is whatever your community does that might be similar to a Toys for Tot kind of program, where we're buying gifts for toys for kids. Another great idea there. And all of these have the opportunity to have some marketing, some public relations, and Facebook, interaction. And so now you've got your hospital and your clinic giving back to the community. What a great thing is that. And so the brand, the hospital logo, the hospital brand, people begin to relate this kindness and generosity to the organization itself. That's a very good thing from the public relations standpoint. Back in the toolbox, lots of things there for you for November. We've got wellness exams and flu shots, the Great American Smokeout, holiday safety, diabetes awareness. All of these are great stories that you can put into your local newspaper, and should be. They're already written for you. If you're a member of SRJ Easy Healthcare, the wellness exams, and boy, there's tens of thousands or more dollars available on these wellness exams. If the national average is 50% of the people that are eligible for a wellness exam don't have one, my suspicion is, though I can't support it with data, is that it's less than that, much less than that in rural markets. So we've got a great opportunity. I would really be promoting the wellness exams for the rest of the year, quite frankly. Very big opportunity to capture lots of revenues. The flu shots, I mean, you can get the flu shots at Walmart or the pharmacy, or visiting nurses from home health agencies, all that kind of stuff. But what you can't get is so when you do have the flu, we want to be advertising and promoting the flu shot as the healthcare providers of the community, and quoting our medical team on when do we start that and what's best, and answering their questions from a PR wise, because when they get sick, we want them to think of us, and we want to be the source of health and wellness information, like a smoke out. We want to invite people to come in and trade their cigarettes for a health bag, with a apple and food bar and that sort of thing. But even if no one shows up to pick up that, they don't trade in their cigarettes for that. The organization, the hospital district or the clinic, benefits by promoting the concept of wellness into the community. And so it's a great source of information. Diabetes is the same thing. To have a diabetes seminar to raise the level of diabetes awareness to the community. These are all great things for you to consider. So another PR opportunity, some of it's already produced there at powerofrural.org. Go to that and sign up, take the pledge, and look for ways that you can promote National Rural Health Day. As all of you know, we're really struggling in rural health care, and we're kind of, I'm not sure that, who we're fighting the most, the national program or the state program, but the dollars are tight, and we have the need to raise the awareness of the importance of rural health care. I think this is a great way to do it, and probably there's a whole marketing strategy. I look over who's in attendance. Everyone that's in attendance is a Torch member, and this is a big important thing for Torch. Is a lot of times we're called upon when the legislature is in session. We're called upon, call your legislature or call your congressperson, and by activating our entire community, so we come together as a strong voice and make our presence known on the importance of our hospital in our rural communities. I think we've got a better chance of securing the funds that are important for, in some cases, our survival. So take a look at that and go in and gather some information and find ways that might work good for your community. On the advertising side, remember we talked about public relations. Well, everything that we do from the PR standpoint, we need to probably be doing on the advertising side. And once again, those are all in the toolbox there at SRJ Easy Healthcare. So we've got ads for the wellness exam and the flu shots, the Great American Smokeout, holiday safety. All of those are supported with advertising. And as I think I mentioned already, but advertising is the sale. That's the call to action. The PR is the education. So you want to be doing both here. And at Thanksgiving, what a great time to just thank our community. Just say thank you. Wish them well and happiness, and just have an ad in there for thanks. That would be a great thing to do as well. Other things, community events. Now is a very good time to be looking very carefully at things that are going on in your community, parades, something going on downtown on the square, those kinds of things. Get involved in the community. You are the #1 or #2 employer of the community, and show up with that power and that presence. I always say if they come to us when they're well, they'll come to us when they're sick. And in the case of community engagement, we need to be going out there. We need to be interacting, with our family and neighbors and friends as an organization. In most cases, we should have the most amount of people there. We should have booths there. Our ambulances, if that's part of our service, ought to be there. We ought to have a float. I know that's a lot of work, but it's an important total communication package. It's not going to be a standalone. You can't just put a float together and go down the streets and think you've done something. There's got to be more to it than that, of course. But get involved in those community events and start planning for them. It's a whole lot easier to have a huge presence in the community by inserting yourself into those events than it is to have to create your own event. I'm sure, looking over the list here, that all of you have done health fairs, and there is a ton of work involved in a health fair when you're having to do it on your own. So this is a great way to get started and get a good community engagement program in place. Another one that comes to mind is find the right people, whoever that is, and whatever that means for you, to go downtown and knock on the doors of the businesses. Like, go in and just say, hey, I'm so-and-so with the hospital. We just wanted to come by and introduce ourselves and say hi. Just to be present there. I mean, we're a small community. It's those relationships. And what a great time to foster some of those relationships, from here to the end of the year, and then start again next year, right? Senior Citizen Center, I talk about that a lot because that is a direct, important piece of our marketing program, is to interact with the Senior Citizens, Center, if you've got one. If you don't have one, there's other organizations, certainly not on the list here, and needs to be, as the places of worship. To be interacting with the places of worship. If you have the ability to put together a lunch for the Ministerial Alliance, that would be great, just before Thanksgiving. Do something like that, invite them all in. If not, then pick it up in the spring, April, I believe it is, volunteer appreciation, and host an event for the Ministerial Alliance. Another great, powerful influencer in the community is the Ministerial Alliance group. And you know what? I was in a community this summer, I guess it was, and I discovered that there really wasn't a community alliance group. It had sort of fizzled. And so the idea that I suggested is, well, why don't we bring it back together? And host it in our conference room and serve them lunch and see what we could do to bring them back together as a group. That's a great way to stimulate the conversation there. So wellness centers, that's another thing. If you have a wellness center as part of your entity, your hospital district or your entity, this is a great time to get your program together to start promoting it. You know how we all set our goals for the first of the year, and so membership is of the increase, and so get the program together to get people signed up. It's a great time to sell wellness packages for your center there as a gift giving idea. Get a gift card put together with a brochure. Maybe include a T-shirt that goes with the gift card, and package that all up and sell it for whatever your membership prices are. Great way to interact. I love the idea of a wellness center, by the way, because people are coming in or near your facility. In most cases, they're on the same campus, and they're coming to the hospital for their health and wellness. Great way to do some cross promotions. You've got an email list, so now you've got an opportunity to email them about the flu shot, about the wellness exam. You can set up there as they're coming in and schedule mammograms during October. Oh gosh, there's an endless amount of things that we can do by interacting with the individuals as part of the organization. So let's begin planning that